Hello everyone, this is Andrew from Crown Academy of English. Today we are doing a lesson about 5 expressions with the word make. So, expression number 1. To make a fortune. To make a fortune. And this means to earn a lot of money. Example. Mark makes a fortune on the stock market. Mark makes a fortune on the stock market. So this means that Mark earns a lot of money on the stock market. He's a trader. Another example. Jane says, I used to work in London as a lawyer. And Mark asks, were you well paid? And she replies, oh yes, I made a fortune. I made a fortune. Okay, so this one is in the present simple tense. And here we have make in the past simple form. Remember that make is an irregular verb. I made. Okay, so this is the past form of make. Made. I made a fortune. I earned a lot of money. Expression number 2. To make a scene. To make a scene. This is very, very good expression. And this means to shout and argue and make a lot of noise in public and in front of lots of people. Let me give you an example. I'm sure you'll understand. Jane says, Mum, can I have some sweets? And Mum replies, no, they are bad for your teeth. And Jane's reaction is she starts crying, shouting, and throwing things. So Jane is very angry. And we can say that Jane is making a scene. Jane is making a scene because they are in a public place, perhaps in a shop, and Jane is shouting and arguing, making lots of noise in front of lots of people. Okay, so we say that she's making a scene. Another example. The situation is that David is angry with Mark during a meeting. Okay, so David and Mark, they are both having an argument during a meeting. And David says, why haven't you finished the report? You're so lazy. And Mark says, don't make a scene. We'll discuss it privately after the meeting. Okay, so David is making a scene because he is arguing in public in front of other people. There are other people present, and he's shouting and arguing, and Mark is trying to calm the situation. He's saying, don't make a scene. We'll discuss it privately after the meeting. Okay? So make a scene. Expression 3. To make one's mind up. And we can also change the form slightly. We can change the order of the words to say to make up one's mind. Okay, so it's a phrasal verb, and we can change the order of the words, but the meaning is the same. And the meaning is to finally decide something that you are not sure about. Okay, so you're perhaps hesitating between 2 choices. You can't decide on something. And then you finally decide. Example. Jane says, "Which ice cream do you want?" And David says, "I'm not sure." So Jane says, "Come on, make your mind up. Make your mind up." So Jane is saying, "Come on, decide, choose." And we can also change the order of the words. We can also say, "Make up your mind." So make your mind up is this form, and make up your mind is this form. Okay, and the meaning is exactly the same. Okay, so it means decide. Example 2. David asks, "Which shoes are you going to buy?" Which shoes are you going to buy? Are you going to buy these shoes, or are you going to buy these shoes? And Jane replies, "I don't know. I can't make my mind up. I can't make my mind up." So here we have the negative. So in the negative, we say, "I can't make my mind up," or "I can't make up my mind." It's the same. So this means, I don't know. I can't decide. I am having trouble deciding. Okay? So it's when, in the negative, we use this when we have a problem with making a decision. Okay, we're not sure. I can't make my mind up. And yes, we can also use the other form, I can't make up my mind. Okay? Expression 4. To make fun of someone. And this means to laugh at someone, perhaps unkindly. To mock someone, to tease someone. Okay, so if you make fun of someone, you're not being very nice. It's quite rude. Example. They make fun of David because he is fat. Okay, so they make fun of David. They laugh at David. They mock David. They tease David because he is fat. They make fun of him. Another example. Mother asks, "Why are you sad?" And Mark replies, "The other children make fun of me. The other children make fun of me." So notice the form. It's make fun of someone. Of someone. So of David. Of me. Okay? And finally, expression 5. To make something up. And again, we can have a different form. We can change the order of the words to make up something. And this is a phrasal verb. So we can say to make something up or to make up something. And the meaning is to say something that is not true. Okay, so that is not true. To say something that is false. To tell a false story. Example. Jane asks, "What is your job?" And David replies, "I'm a famous actor." And Jane replies, "I don't believe you. You're making it up. You're making it up." Okay, so Jane says, "I don't believe you. You're telling a false story. You're inventing it. You're making it up." Example 2. Jane says, "I was late for work yesterday." And David says, "What did you say to your boss? What did you say to your boss?" And Jane replies, "I made up an excuse. I made up an excuse." So this means I gave an excuse that was not true. Okay, so I lied. Basically, I lied. I made a false story. I told a false story. Perhaps I said that the bus was late, when in fact the bus was not late. So I invented an excuse. I made up an excuse. This is a very useful expression for when you give a false excuse to someone. Okay? Very useful expression. There we are. That's the end. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. And here are some other videos which you might be interested in.